What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post-game show. Look at that final score below me. 100 to 132. We had Blazers Uprise live earlier today, and I had a feeling that the Blazers were going to get blown out. And I picked the Suns. I should have doubled down on them. I don't know why I didn't. Eric doubled down on the Blazers. He had some confidence, and
stupid.
You know what's funny is during this 9-game stretch, I've been a little bit more positive than you are, and then coming out of it, I'm like, yeah, I don't feel good about this team. This was the worst coached game of the entire season. Everything that I talked about before this game on our stream we had before this game, all my worries were 100% true. Here, we'll talk about the defense, and we'll talk about the offense. All right? I'm going to wait for people to file in because we went live pretty soon on the black screen. Which one do you want me to talk about first? I'm in a ranting mood. You know, Eric went off last game and had a very memeable rant, which I loved. Honestly, during that stream, I didn't even realize you cussed. I thought you, caught yourself before, but, I got to make sure, I got to make sure I keep it clean for all the families out there watching together.
That's why I stopped.
That was so funny. My goodness, man. It was the worst coach game of the year. And I'm sure, here's the thing. You know what's funny is I feel like the people that watched that stream we had earlier today should be able to, tell us exactly why. Because what did I say to watch in this game, Eric? I said, watch our ball movement and the types of shots we get. And if, our shot quality correlates with ball movement. And then watch our defensive scheme and what we're running, right? So, in chat, let me know if you want me to rant about the offense or the defense first. Of course, I'll give Eric a chance to respond. I'm just going to go in, depending on what you guys want me to start with. I wonder if Portlandia is going to show in today. Didn't he guarantee a win in this one?
I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. Bonnie. Oh, man. Everybody's saying defense. I'll start with the defense. We gave up 132 points tonight. What did I say before this game? Eric, quick summary of what I said before this game that we shouldn't do.
That we shouldn't see any drop coverage. Mm-hmm. We need to get good shots and move the ball.
Just in regards to the defense, because we'll touch on the offense too. But yeah, the defense was, you cannot run drop scheme against this damn team. You cannot run drop scheme against Devin Booker and Chris Paul. And it's so obvious that it's mind-boggling to me that Terry Stotts, an NBA coach, doesn't see that, bro. I said before this game, they will exploit it to death if we run drop scheme. They will crush us if we run drop scheme. And they crushed us because we ran drop scheme, right? Canner isn't a factor defensively on any single pick and roll, and people are out here blaming Canner. It's not even Canner. His positioning is to play below, basically below the damn rim. And if I didn't know any better, sure, it'd be yeah, why is Canner playing down there? What's up with him? But I've watched this team long enough and actually pay attention that I know that's what he's being instructed to do, because that's what Terry Stotts loves to do. Run drop scheme, okay? You have all these people out here that want to give Stotts a pass, right? By saying, oh, well, Canner just can't hedge and can't trap. But every time I've seen him do that this year, he's actually looked pretty solid, right? He can't draw up against Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Even if he is a good defensive big, you can't run drop scheme against them with a good defensive big. So running drop scheme against them with a bad defensive big is somehow justifiable? That makes no damn sense. When our defense is this bad, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to not try something else. You have all these people say, well, he just can't do it. Well, he can't defend this game, so why not try it and see if it might be better? The whole narrative that he can't do it is just there's nothing we've seen this season that shows that he can't do it. Every time he's occasionally done it, he's been serviceable, right? But you have all these people that just want to toss out that narrative to excuse Terry Stotts. But guess what? It's our defense is so bad, we give up 132 points. Who cares if we give up 150 because we hedge him? At least we'll, maybe try something else that has at least a little chance of working, because what we were running had absolutely no chance of working. I said that before the damn game. I said it had no chance of working before the game. And we saw throughout this game that it had no chance of working. It didn't work. We got destroyed. So for Terry Stotts to just sit there and not even make an adjustment. There was a game like this earlier this year against the Clippers, and it's like, bro, just throw out a hedge. I don't know how anything can be worse than our pick and roll defense was today. We gave up a ton of open corner threes because we were dropping the big, and Chris Paul and Devin Booker were going to have wide open 15-footers, right? That's our defensive game plan, to let two really good mid-range shooters shoot wide open 15-footers. And you had like a guy like a Robert Covington in the corner who was trying to help and take away the mid-range jumper and then get back out on his guy when the ball was kicked to him, right? People were blaming Rocco for giving up corner threes, but it was like you have Cantor not even in the damn play because he's being dropped almost below the damn rim. And then you have, you have to go over the screen, so the guy guarding the ball is going over the screen, giving up all this space in the mid-range, and Covington's trying to take that away and then trying to get back out on his man. He can't do both those things. The thing is, we weren't even stopping the lob either, because guys were getting so close to the rim that then Cantor would have to finally step up, and then they'd lob it over the top, right? We weren't containing any of that, and it was an absolute train wreck. If you hedge Cantor, if you trap with Cantor, shoot, why aren't we trapping with our damn bench unit? Our center is Rocco. We have a mobile small ball bench unit. I don't really remember trapping at all with those guys, right?
Nope. Instead, we had him out in no man's land, and they just had to swing it to the corner for a wide open three.
It's just so stupid. It's so dumb. This was such there was no coaching in my eyes this game. Like, Stotts didn't show up. This game, man. To not try something else, to not adjust when you're getting crushed is just so blatantly dumb, in my opinion. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But I told you guys, the thing is, somehow I have the foresight that, okay, yeah, they got Chris Paul and Devin Booker. We can't run drop scheme against those guys, you got to try something else. I have that foresight. Apparently Terry Stotts doesn't, or he's just so uncomfortable with anything other than what he's used to that he can't do anything else, which is just one of my biggest complaints about him. He doesn't adjust, doesn't adapt. He's too stuck in his ways.
That is exactly the point I was going to make. This guy doesn't think he needs to coach. He doesn't. He was like, oh, we won 6 games in a row. See, my defense is working. Look, it's getting better. We've held opponents in the last 6 games to below their average in 3-point shots and stuff. Needless to say, that was because we played teams like the Cavs who are missing players. Orlando is missing half their team. Philadelphia is not a great team to expose our weaknesses. That's a good matchup for us. And other than that, we've played mostly below 500 teams, and we've gotten lucky because Dame's had some historic performances and gone off, and we've won some games. We've had some good shooting performances elsewhere.
Also, you had Carmelo Anthony, Gary Trent Jr., and Anthony Simons shooting an unsustainably high percentage on tough shots.
Yep.
That wasn't going to keep it up. That 9-game stretch was a mirage. And it tricked a lot of people that don't know what the hell they're talking about into saying, oh, see, Stotts is a great coach. That 9-game stretch had nothing to do with coaching. Stotts has not improved a single thing. And we were playing cautious. We were trying to split the line between being happy with the 9-game stretch, but also being realistic, because we try as hard as we can to be realistic. And other than Philadelphia, the only above 500 team we've beaten this year came on the first day of the year, January 1st, Golden State. Every other win other than Philadelphia, which is a good matchup for us, they're not good at exploiting drop scheme, has been against sub 500 teams. A number of them with guys missing. Okay? And this is, a game like this, having CJ and Nurkic doesn't fix anything. Oh, cool, he dropped Nurkic instead, and we'd still give up all the same looks. You know what I mean? We did not give up 132 points because we had Cantor instead of Nurkic. Okay, and having CJ's not going to help our defense either.
Nope. And you hear all the excuses like, oh, so you can't have a good defense with CJ and Dame. What's their excuse while CJ's been out? What's the excuse? Seriously, what's the excuse?
Apparently it's Canner.
It drives me crazy.
But like Canner playing wouldn't have made a difference, man. No, because he doesn't hedge. He doesn't do anything with Nurk.
I saw Chad Doing say tonight, the reason why Stotts cannot coach defense is because of Dame and CJ being on this team together. As long as they're together, we will never have a good defense, which is not true because we've had decent defenses in the past, back when Vanderpool was on our team. But anyways, the thing is, CJ hasn't been around. CJ's not responsible at all for tonight. You put a better defender, in theory, at the 2 spot instead of him. It's not like a small backcourt now. You don't have that excuse either. So, like, quit using the backcourt as a freaking excuse. It drives me crazy. But this is why when people are saying, God, you guys are so negative with this. We've won 6 in a row. Why are you so negative? Because I was telling you then, and I'm telling you now, Terry Stotts only knows how to do one thing, and he does it, and he hopes it works, and then all of a sudden it does work for a few games. So he's like, oh, cool, I don't have to do anything. See, my system will eventually work. We just need to keep playing, and eventually these guys will figure it out. It's just so complex. You wouldn't understand the complexities of it, Tori, right?
Yeah, I love how a guy who like probably has never played organized basketball is telling that to me. Isn't that ironic, Eric?
Yes.
My God.
And then so Stotts comes out tonight, has absolutely no game plan other than to let's just run our normal defense and see what happens, and it gets completely annihilated. And they had did they switch it up at halftime maybe? You know, it wasn't really working in the first half. We gave up 60-some points. No, we come out and give up 100 points by the end of the third quarter. 100 points in 3 quarters. That's what we gave up tonight.
And guess what the excuses they're making now? With Canner, man, you can only drop him. Bro, when he has Nurkic or Giles on the floor, runs small, he only runs drop scheme. Mm-hmm. Like, occasionally we'll see a wrinkle, but very rarely. So it's not personnel why he's running drop scheme. Like, people make up all these narratives that are so logically flawed, they're almost hard to argue because, like, you can point out, bruh, he always runs drop scheme no matter who he has. So why do you think this game is excusable? Because, well, he has Canner and could only run drop scheme with him. Not only has Canner looked solid hedging and trapping, but even when he has personnel to hedge and trap, he still only runs drop scheme. Like, that argument is so bad. It's so bad. We'll thank the donos in a sec. We'll just, like, run through them. We're just in rant mode.
I just want to say, I mean, you said it perfectly earlier. How many minutes did Canner play in this game?
I'm not sure.
You want to look that up? Oh,
I will look it up. I'll beat you to it.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Canner played 28 minutes tonight.
Okay. So, what happened the other 20 minutes, Tori? Who was our center during those 20 minutes?
Rocco.
Rocco, for the most part? Yeah. Maybe at some of the garbage time, it was someone else. Were we trapping in garbage time? Were we trying to get our young guys used to doing a different sort of defensive scheme, or maybe they're a lot more athletic, maybe try something different while they're on the floor, see if that works? Did we trap in the first half when Cantor went out of the game? So how is that on Cantor? If we play the exact same defense when we don't even have a center in the game, we have 5 like athletic wings that could all switch and do multiple things, yet we still run the same defense that we run with Cantor. So anyone who says it's because of Cantor or personnel I'm sorry, but they just don't understand basketball, because that's not what's happening with this team, and they haven't paid attention enough to the Blazers in the past, because this is absolutely a case of a coach who does not know how to freaking coach. He is terrible. He does not know what to do. He has his scheme. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and he has no way to counter it if it doesn't, and we will never, ever be an elite team with him at the helm, and it's ridiculous that we can sit here and watch it happen like this, and this guy doesn't even try to double team Booker. He's going off, try a double team.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me just say this real quick, and I'll let you keep going. But if Stotts tried everything he could try and they still score 130, right, then we're not criticizing him.
I said that before the game, right?
Yeah, like if he like tries his best, to slow them down. We're not criticizing him, but he didn't try at all. He didn't make an effort at all. He just, okay, you guys know scheme. He didn't coach this game. He literally did not coach this game on both ends, because I'm going to go into 20 offensive possessions in a row that I charted, which is comically bad. And
here's the thing. So Monty Williams actually had a brilliant strategy at the beginning of the game. Just post Booker up if we're going to put Damian on him, right?
Why did we put Dame on him?
I don't know. Why didn't we put Dame on? Because I talked about this before. If you're having trouble with switching picks and stuff like that, have Dame on CP3 at the beginning. That way, if he gets screened, he gets off of him, and you got the guy you want guarding him. But instead, we put him on Booker, and they just post him up, and he scores a bunch of times. And then we switched Gary Trent on him, who got absolutely abused in this game as well. And then in the second half, did they just run pick and roll and do stuff did they just stick to the same game plan? No, they started riding Booker off curl screens, and every single time he was wide open, could have taken a 15-foot jumper, and it was so easy for him, he just decided to drive most of the time. He would either score with ease, or he would just lob it up to Ayton for a wide open dunk. And we did nothing, not one single coaching change during this entire game to try and counteract that, or to stop it, or do anything about it. And it's absolutely pathetic. It is terrible coaching. Stotts deserves to be fired immediately. I am not a fire Stotts guy. I am not screaming that all the time. But there is no excuse for an NBA coach not just standing on the sidelines and not even changing or trying a different thing this entire game to stop anything they're doing. And it's been this way for years. I'm not saying that this is one game. If this was one game, I would maybe give him a pass. But he does not. He does not know how to adjust or do things in the game, and it's going to absolutely ruin Damian Lillard's career. And I'm sorry, but it frustrates the crap out of me that we are ruining this man's career.
Here's the best way I'd explain it to any person that goes, oh, it's just one bad game, or it's just two bad games, blah, 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 right? Bro, these flaws have been consistent for years, for 5 years. 5 years. Bro, I found a online post that I made in 2016, and it's all the same flaws. All the same flaws, right? And when you got, I don't know, a freaking superstar MVP candidate like Damian Lillard, you can maybe go on a Western Conference Finals run against a overrated OKC team and an inexperienced Denver Nuggets team. We ain't never beat a true contender in a playoff series. We've never even been competitive against a true contender in the playoff series, but that's besides the point. The point is, bro, these flaws have been consistent for 5 years, and we've had decent regular seasons. But then what happens? In the playoffs, these flaws get exposed. We get swept by the 6-seeded New Orleans Pelicans. We win one game against the Lakers, and that's only because we had a good first quarter because we moved the damn ball, and then we stop moving the ball and just get pretty much destroyed, and, Dame has a hot game and keeps us in game 3, but that's it, right? Before that, I don't know. These flaws have been consistent. Year in, year out. And the team will have a 9-game stretch where they play well, and all these people will get tricked into thinking it's because of good coaching. Nothing about the Blazers' 8 wins in 9 games was because of good coaching. It was because of Damian Lillard. It's because you had a bunch of guys shooting a really high percentage on shots. The only thing you could attribute to coaching is, they're not making absolutely elementary defensive mistakes. They're not, a lot of the bonehead mistakes were cleaned up a bit. Bro, that's the only credit you could give to Stotts. And they move the ball a little bit better. Bro, but what happens once we face a good team that we don't match up well with, a good team other than Philadelphia? We don't move the ball. We don't adjust. We only run drop scheme, which is the worst scheme to run against them. Nas doesn't play enough. And then he plays in garbage time and balls the F out. It's comical. It's comical, bro. We'll touch on Nas. Let me think the donos, because I want to talk about the offense. Unless there's something else you want to say about the defense.
Oh, no. Let's just, I have the first one lined up if you want me to read it, or if you have it.
I got it. Okay. Deshaun Paul was the first one, right?
Yep.
Shout out to Deshaun Paul, $5 dono. Defense, because how do you have Dame on book when you have Derrick Jones Jr. and Nas on the team? I don't know, man. Before the game, it's put Dame on Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is a decent offensive player, but he's in their offense, he's mostly a spot-up three-point shooter, and if you have, like, Mikal Bridges trying to maybe exploit Dame, that's probably better than having the ball in Chris Paul's or Devin Booker's hands, right? So before the game, I said, put some combination of Derrick Jones Jr. and Gary Trent Jr. on CP3 and Booker. Instead, we come out with Dame on Booker. It doesn't make sense, man. You can, like, touch on any of these donations, but I'm going to just keep rolling through on this.
It didn't make sense, our matchups, and but like you said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who we had on who, because our defense is going to easily be exploited by a good team and a well-coached team. And Monty Williams is a great coach, and he had several examples of how he would coach circles around Stotts in a playoff series. I'd be scared to play the Suns because,
we'd lose.
That guy can coach, and just the way he used Booker, and Chris Paul didn't even really have that good of a game, and they still torched us. And they have length and shooters, and
Chris Paul had 2 points on 1 for 9 shooting tonight, and they had 132 points.
Mm-hmm.
They had 132 points. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he did have 9 assists. But that's the thing. You give him all that space, he manipulates it and sets guys up and draws defenders and creates open shots for people. That's why you can't give him all that space in the mid-range by dropping the big. Even if he doesn't have a good scoring night, he'll still have a pot. He was still a plus 20. Still helped them offensively more than he hurt them. Because you can't give him that space. Shout out Ball Don't Lie Podcast, $5 dono. He said, this team is so frustrating. We got completely outclassed. We had no energy, no game plan outside of the usual let Dame carry. Yeah, pretty much. And you know what's funny is, we've gotten blown out a lot this year. A lot. We've won a lot of close games and gotten destroyed a lot. Our point differential is probably in the negative right now. I think it was pretty even going into this game. Now it's in the negative. We're 18-12, but have a negative point differential because we get blown out and just absolutely destroyed so many games. That's an issue. Shout out Portland 2 Fresh, $5 dono. It says message retracted. So sorry, I don't know what you said. That's
next message is from him too. Maybe you messed up.
Yeah. So shout out Portland 2 Fresh for 2 $5 donos. He says, why the hell was Dame on Booker to start the game? Game was over after I saw that. Dude got into a rhythm after that, and didn't matter who you put on him. Yeah, it didn't make sense. And we said that. I said who I would throw out there matchup wise before the game. I literally foretold what happened. I was saying, I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I feel like this could be a blowout for this reason, this reason, this reason. And all those reasons came true. I don't know. It's funny how you have media clowns out there that have never played a lick of basketball trying to make me out like I don't know what I'm talking about, man. Shout out to Dan Meringue and Chad Doing and those clowns, man. Ball Don't Lie, another $5 dono. He says, I'll take anyone over Stotts. He always finishes close to last in assists/defense. His answers for a struggling offense is a mellow post-up. I'll get into the offense. Appreciate the donation. I'll get into the offense that I charted. But, bro, against we've had an easy schedule this year. We're the 28th ranked defense. We improved our personnel, but personnel's the issue. Even when we had Nurkic, personnel was the issue. Oh, well, you also have CJ. Okay, well, CJ's hurt. Oh, it's still personnel. Somehow that doesn't help our defense when, the problem, we couldn't play defense before because they had Dame and CJ in the backcourt together. Now we got Gary Trent Jr. You know what I mean? It's not a personnel issue. It's absolutely not. Personnel can help, but I don't know. In Stotts' case, personnel didn't help. We're 28th. We're worse than last year. Against an easier schedule than we played last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is games like this, man, Nurkic ain't making a difference if he's dropped to the rim. If it's not like they were, I don't know, it's not like guys were just scoring over Kanter. And the thing is, Kanter hasn't even been that bad defensively. I wouldn't even say he necessarily had a terrible defensive game. It's just he'll get dropped below the rim, and then a bunch of Stotts defenders will say, well, Kanter just sucks on defense. Look at how well they're scoring at the pick and roll, when our scheme is just to give them all this space and drop the big, but they don't want to criticize Stotts. You got so many biased people out here that just have just such a love for Terry Stotts, they could never say anything bad. And they could never be objective. Never be objective.
Well, it's honestly, it's the same thing that's happening with Jordan Kent. He's been very bad in my opinion, but both Stotts and Jordan Kent are super nice guys, so people don't want to say like bad things about it, which I totally respect, and it's fine. Just don't have a problem with people who are actually critiquing basketball reasons why Stotts is so bad of a coach. Don't try to say like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. He made the Western Conference Finals. He always overachieves with his players. Maybe that's because we have one of the best players in franchise history, if not the best player in franchise history, absolutely elevating these rosters.
And then we have a secondary guy who can play like a superstar when he needs to. You know, like, yeah. Here's the thing. All these people, all these Stotts defenders out here, they never argue actual points, right? It's, oh, can or can't hedge. It's like, well, he can't drop either, so why not hedge? He's actually looked fine when he hedges. Silence. Or it's, oh, well, he just can't hedge. And then it's like, well, look at our offense, man. Well, we've had a good offense before, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's never actual getting into the juice, the substance, right? We're never actually getting into that with any of those people. Because they can't. They don't have the capability to get into it. Let's you want me to just read out the offensive plays that I charted? I tweeted this out, so a lot of you might have seen it. You want me to just read these off? Because this is just comical, man. We have an offensive stretch. I charted plays from like 3 minutes left in the third to like 3 minutes into the fourth. Let me find it here. All my mentions. Yeah. All right. Here we go. All right. I'm just gonna read this off. Okay. Charting offensive possessions. These just every offensive possession we had. Melo isolation, no passes, offensive foul. Then we had 4 passes, all outside the 3-point arc. Nobody cut or moved towards the rim. We got a missed contested Rodney Hood 3. Next possession, 2 passes, both of them around the arc, no movement to the rim again. Dame drove against a stationary defender, scored. Okay, next possession, 2 passes, both outside the arc. Only movement was a half-hearted screen on the arc from Anthony to Rodney Hood that wasn't even designed to get anybody in position to score. Anthony had to drive against set defense, missed a floater. Next possession, no passes. We isolated, Melo brought up the ball and isolated, missed a shot. We got second chance points on that possession, though. Next possession, Dame ran a pick and roll 30 feet away from the rim. No passes, missed a 30-footer. Possession after that, we passed to Melo at the top of the key, had one half-hearted cut. Probably it was Rodney Hood cutting backdoor at about 50%. Then Melo committed that elbow to Jay Crowder, you know, where it was a foul on Jay Crowder and a technical on Melo for the elbow. That possession. Possession after that, Dame isolation, no passes. Phoenix fouled him with like 10 on the shot clock. Next possession after that, Dame isolated, no passes. His shot was blocked. And then next possession after that, we threw the ball straight out of bounds with 2 seconds left. Let's start the fourth, all right? It keeps going. Are any of these possessions well-coached offensive possessions? No. Next possession, 3 passes around the arc, no meaningful movement towards the rim. Melo ISO'd, miss. Next possession after that, no passes. Anthony ISO'd, contested 3, miss. Next possession after that, Anthony dribbles the ball up, hands it to Nas. Nas shoots a contested 3. He made it. Next possession after that, 2 passes around the arc, no meaningful movement towards the rim. Contested 3 from Ant. He made it, but are these good offensive positions? No. Next possession after this, Gary Trent Jr. pushes in transition without making a single pass, drives 1-on-2, missed like a 5-foot scoop shot. Then Portland called timeout, down 110-77. That is so comically bad. That stretch of basketball was so comically bad. But people call this guy an offensive genius, right? And the narrative will be, well, we just missed shots, you know, during that stretch. We didn't put the ball in the hoop. Well, why do you think we're not putting the ball in the damn hoop, man? Like, oh my goodness. Go rewatch. If you have the ability to, go rewatch that stretch. It's going to be painful. It was very painful watching it live, and it's probably going to be more painful after the fact. But go rewatch from about 3 minutes left in the fourth to 9 minutes, or 3 minutes left in the third quarter to 9 minutes left in the fourth. Go rewatch that.
Please don't, if you want to not burn your eyes out.
The problem is we have so many stretches like that But the thing is, like, sometimes we'll make all these contested threes and all these tough shots, and Melo's ISO turnaround contested fadeaways will go in. And then people will scream, good coaching, when we have offensive possessions like that. It's so comical. But what happens against a good defense or contention level team, and especially in the playoffs, is that type of crap is easy to shut down. And that's why our offense can go from like 5th in the regular season to like 12th out of 16 playoff teams in the playoffs. How can people tell me that this guy's an offensive genius when we have so many stretches like that? How can people tell me that that offense is good and like moving the ball and moving players and cutting and having productive off-ball movement is a bad thing and we need that?
And look what happened. Oh, we ran Dame off the ball one time. I even called this on Twitter. Dame backdoors for an easy lay-in. Worked to perfection. It would work if you did other wrinkles off of it as well. Did we do it one more time the rest of the game? No. We didn't care. That was in the first half. Didn't do it again. They were focusing a lot of tension on Dame, you know. What was there like the whole game? Lobs to Derek Jones. Yeah, we did that like 3 times in a row. He got an easy layup every time, and he's laying the ball in instead of dunking it and making everyone for the record. But did we keep doing that? Nope. Next possession, he's just out there camped in the corner, you know, not just waiting for a 3 ball. And Chris Paul was guarding him in the first half and like daring him to shoot the 3-pointer. And but if they're going to focus attention, that long play was there every time. Just keep throwing it. Just throw it every single time and make them have to stop doing it. But don't just stop doing it when it's worked 3 plays in a row.
Here's the thing.
So dumb.
Those lob plays were like mostly out of freelance. It was like we were running pick and roll and they weren't like paying attention to Derek Jones Jr. and any cuts, right? Where is some designed plays utilizing him as a cutter, as a mover? Like, oh God, this is why I wasn't high on the signing, because it's like, wow, we're just going to park him in the corner. Thank goodness he actually decides to cut when he has the opportunity in freelance situations. But this is why I was like, yeah, this guy has Stas' offense. Yikes. I mean, you look at like last game, he shoots 5 threes and 9 shots. I mean, this game, didn't shoot a 3. Cool. You know, he's not a good 3-point shooter. But it's like, bruh, it's so blatantly bad, man. The offense we run is so blatantly bad. You compound that with like when we get trapped, we have no answer ever. And we just completely fold. And it's just, how is this guy an offensive genius? Damian Lillard has made this guy's career. Guess who drafted Damian Lillard? And people say, oh, they were locked onto him anyway. Neil Olshey. Without Neil Olshey drafting Damian Lillard, Stotts is here for maybe 2-3 seasons and gone. Stotts can thank, in part, Neil Olshey for his coaching career and reputation. Because Olshey drafted Dame. It's just so bad, dude. Like, I don't know how people watch this and like defend it. You have like people like a Dan Meringue out here saying, well, their offense is just so complex that you just don't understand the ins and outs. And it's like, bro, you've never actually had to run a damn offense yourself in your damn life. All right, how you going to tell me about running an offense? But then I go and chart these plays. What is complex about any of that?
Well, he told Smog today that that he talks to experts and all of them agree that we're stupid and it's all personnel based over the reason.
Basically, he's not smart enough to make his own points and argue his own thoughts. Mm-hmm. You know?
Shout out to Andrew Miller for the $20 donation. Thanks, man. What's up? How is your night going other than the Blazer game? He says this coach's 9 seasons is a clinic on squandering talent, piss away a well-constructed roster, waste Dame's career. As a coach, he is an absolute joke. Fire Stotts, get that man out of here, period. Yeah. And let me just say this. So Peace and Love's like talking about how, you know, overachieving with the roster, all this kind of stuff. Okay, so I just want to ask a question. What specifically is Stotts doing to overachieve? What is he doing? Is it some sort of offensive sets that he's designing to make this team get easy baskets? Is it some sort of like really good defensive plan? Like, what has he done in your mind over this season once the injuries happened to warrant you believing that this is because of Stotts that we are sitting where we are in the record?
Hey, you know what the answer is, Eric? It's, well, you know, he's nice to the players, so he's friends with the players, so they play hard for him. Yeah, so they play hard for him because they like him. But you know, a lot of times they just don't play hard, and that's not Stotts' fault, right? You know, guys just aren't playing hard a lot of times. But you know, they like Stotts, so they play hard for him. And that's why Stotts helps them. You know, it's. It's something like that, man. Oh, that's such a contradiction. Yeah. Stotts gets the most out of his players, except when they don't try.
Stotts finds a way to make the playoffs every year. Yeah, okay.
See, and look at his answer, right? He says, winning. He can't come up with an actual reason why Stotts, you know, he can't come up with an answer to your question, Eric.
Good one. And for anyone who thinks that, like, oh, well, we need him as coach. We absolutely have to have him. Dame respects him so much. Literally, I could take anyone on chat and you could go say, hey, Damian Lillard, go win us this game. And Dame would do the same thing. They play street ball. They don't do anything complex. Mm-hmm. Anyone who says that is freaking lying to you because they don't understand the game. So they're fooled by someone who is a nice guy to thinking he's a good coach because Dame likes him. And Dame is extremely loyal. We know that. It's not because he's a good coach. It's because he's the only coach Dame's had, and Dame thinks that's the best that he can do. He doesn't understand that this guy is not helping him become it's crazy to think about, but Dame could get better shots and be more efficient than he already is, and he's already one of the top 10 players in the league. It's just crazy to me.
Yep. In Peace and Love says, not totally credit to coach, but when lost, it's not totally coach's fault either. Here's how I'd say it. The foundation of the team is the style of basketball in which they play, right? If you have a solid foundation and then maybe you go on a rough patch, normally it's because guys aren't, you guys are struggling individually and whatnot, and then, you put the onus on the players. But when your foundation is so bad, it starts with the coach. It starts and ends with the coach. When your foundation is bad, when your style of play is so bad, the coach is responsible for the style of play. Right? And sure, different players might make it easier to play a certain style or whatnot. And, if you have a James Harden, you're probably going to be a little bit more ISO heavy, blah, blah, sure. Right? But we've seen the style of play be pretty consistently bad, in my opinion, in terms of, what schemes he's running, what he's running offensively and defensively. Like, it's been consistently bad no matter who we've had on the roster. No matter who's out there, no matter who's hurt, no matter who's healthy. So that's why it's the coach. That's why it's the coach for me. That's why I blame the coach, because the foundation is bad.
So, Peace and Love, let me ask you a question. He says guys are injured. Okay, so were we better? Do we have more talent in the game against Orlando? Do we have more talent on the floor in Orlando against Cleveland? Are we a more talented team even with our injuries than them, or are we winning these games because we're just so bad, but our coaching is so good that it overcomes us having the worst roster of all time, and we just somehow win a game because Stotts comes up with the best game plan ever.
You know what's funny is, like, when we have a lot more talent, right? People don't use a personnel, reason for us winning a game, right? It's, Stotts is so amazing. The Stotts lovers, right? It's like we'll literally win just playing rat ball, running one defensive scheme, and they want us to give credit to Stotts when we have more talent out there on the floor. And then we play a good team in which running one defensive scheme and playing rat ball is not going to work. And then it's, well, you guys are being too hard on him. It's just it's contradictory. Shout out Andrew Miller, another $10 dono. He says, is there another example of a team where their coach's job is so contingent on their best two players playing out of this world so much more consistently than they should ever be expected to? That's a great question. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's insane. Shervin's Terry Stotts' coaching record before Damian Lillard, 148 and 217. Yeah, and he didn't last long in those spots either. RIP Blazers, $2 donos. Watch Nas and Stas' post-game interviews. We will. Let's talk about Nas, bro.
Real quick,
after I think,
$5 donation. Dames comes off as smart. but can't see Stotts as ruining any chance
He's
he has to win a
too
chip.
close to the situation and too loyal to be truly objective, in my opinion, when it comes to the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So, because honestly, you put Dame on this with us, and we would have a legitimate basketball conversation, and I'd be curious to see how he would answer some questions. Because, I don't know, out of all the media out there, out of all the fans in there, I think me and Eric could hang in a basketball conversation more than a lot of people. And a lot of you guys could probably have a decent basketball conversation. You guys watch us because you guys can see through the other crap from the other media. I don't know.
Just to warn you, I'm being told Stotts blames poor shooting for the reason we lost.
Bro, okay, guys, what I tweeted out, that play chart in those possessions, right? Stotts doesn't see a problem with that sort of offense. Stotts sees no problem with just, oh, well, we missed contested threes, we just missed shots, you know? It's BS. It's crap. The dude is so full of it, man. And I wish more and more people could see through it. I almost wish we didn't even have a good 9-game stretch because, like, people were starting... some people that I didn't think would ever be truly objective were starting to be truly objective, and then, like, they have a good 9-game stretch against bad teams, and all that goes out the window. Shout out Killer54, $2 dono. He says, Daft Punk news made me sad now this game. Yeah. I don't know what the Daft Punk news is, but...
They're retiring.
This rough. Oh, are they? Got you.
Yep.
Actually, we know basketball, Jose. We know basketball. Come on, bud.
But I mean, here's peace and love again. Other teams with injuries are not even close to the playoffs. We're the 5th seed, only 1.5 games behind 4th. We're actually 2 now behind Phoenix, but
we've had an easy ass schedule. We've had an easy ass schedule.
Everything going on.
Like, bro,
it's just a casual. It's a casual take, man.
Yeah, you're not thinking about anything basketball related. You're looking at a piece of paper, looking at our record, then like looking at our injury sheet and our roster and trying to make basketball opinions based off that.
And it's funny how
watch the game and analyze the game.
Who likes Stotts thinks that way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this roster is garbage and Stotts is just magically making it a playoff team.
And it's never based... bro, anybody can have that argument. That is such a casual argument because it's just based on a sheet of paper. You can go on ESPN for 2 minutes and come up with that opinion, right? Like, a fan of another team could go on ESPN and come up with that opinion. Base your arguments off the game. Talk about basketball, okay? There's a few people out there who do a good job of disagreeing with us, but basing it on what happens on the basketball court. And they just view the game a little differently. And I can respect those people, even though I 100% disagree with them and think that they're, wrong. I can respect their opinion because... like, it's a difference of opinion that's based on basketball. I can't respect opinions that are based off a sheet of paper or based off what a Bucks fan could just look on ESPN for 2 minutes and see and come up with.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't get it. You watch... If you watch the way Phoenix got Booker his shots... There's no excuse for why we don't try some of those things every once in a while, or get Dame or CJ when he's playing. Trent's a good shooter. Even Melo, get him those kind of looks. Like, instead of just ISO post and pick and roll. Like, why don't we try that stuff first? If you have good ISO players, let them ISO. There's going to be plenty of situations to ISO and pick and roll throughout the game. You don't have to use those as your only form of offense, and it's just ridiculous that we just continue to do this. And then people wonder, like, oh, why is Dame shooting so bad? Because he's got to hit like the most incredible tough shots the entire freaking game. It's like Dame either has to hit a 3-pointer with several people on him, or he's got to shoot it from like 10 feet beyond the line because that's the only time he's even close to being open, or he's got to drive in and score on a big man and try to maneuver his body in a way to get a lay-in, which he's really good at doing and can do that. But like, to ask him to do that as our only form of offense is just absolutely ridiculous to me, that we don't have a solution to get this guy better shots.
Yep. Yep. You know what's funny is like, you know, oh, well, trapping is bad, right? Even if we have like Roko in a small ball lineup, oh, trapping is bad, you know, it just gives up open threes. But then when teams do it against us, they give Stotts an excuse for not being able to get us open threes out of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, we can't do it. Stotts gets an excuse for not running a trap because trapping is bad. But then when we get trapped, Stotts gets an excuse for not being able to exploit it from those same people. It's so ironically contradictory. Like, there's so many contradictions and so many arguments, man. It just, it drives me crazy. Let's talk about Nas, though, man. Nas, in 16 minutes, has 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 for 7 from the field, 3 for 6 from the three-point line, 7 for 8 from the free throw line. Played with the most energy of anybody out there on the court, but only played 16 minutes, and 8 of those were in garbage time.
No, 12 of them. All 12 of them were in the fourth quarter. He only played
over the first three quarters. He only played 4 minutes.
Yep. What did I say last game? Just repeat my rant from last game.
I'm trying to remember what you said. I know you like slammed your pencil down.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, man. Like,
Bobby had it earlier, right?
Oh my goodness, man. Like, it's just, I wish I had like that clip queued up because I'd just play it and be like, see?
Okay,
Why just I want to start with this. I want to start with this one, and then I'll let you go off, bro. How we're playing with no energy. Play the guy who plays with the most energy, bruh.
Yep.
It's not even like he's, you know, just a guy out there just like running around. You know, Kelvin Blevins kind of plays a little spastic. You know, looks like he has a little bit of energy, right? But he's trash. Nasir Little ain't trash. Why does Stotts coach like he's trash, bro? It's ridiculous. He continues to be buried treasure, right? And the only reason he's buried is because Stotts just buries him on the bench for no explainable reason. You need more defense in this game. Play a guy who can defend, who's lengthy, athletic, can guard a couple different positions, right? You need energy, play that guy. Guys are struggling to make shots, play the guy who's been pretty good three-point shooter this year, right? You need to attack the rim a little bit better. Play the guy who can slash a little bit. Like, it's so mind-boggling to me that the dude just doesn't get PT. 4 minutes in the first 3 quarters, bro, is just absolutely ridiculous. There's no way to excuse it. I don't like play Nas, bro. I don't even know how to argue it because it's just so dumb and it should be obvious to everyone. Like I had a Suns fan in my mentions saying, "Man, you guys are really playing Carmelo over Nas right now." Ha ha ha. For somebody said, "For my team's sake, I hope you guys keep Stotts. I should be playing this Nas guy." It's like, yeah, even other teams' fans see it.
I heard that from a Warriors fan yesterday. He said, as a Warriors fan, I hope Stotts is always the coach of the Blazers. As an NBA fan and a Dame fan, I hope that he gets fired as soon as possible.
Yep.
But here's the deal. What were we really struggling on, in addition to, you know, our Matador defense? But they were getting all kinds of offensive rebounds, and it was their guards and other players, and what they were killing us on the boards, and that was with Cantor in the game. Nas comes in, plays 4 minutes, gets 3 defensive rebounds. You know, a couple of those were like really strong rebounds, and then here he goes out of the game, and then we go right back to getting abused on the boards, and before you know it, we're down, 9 points or whatever. And what did he do in those 4 minutes? Like, I get maybe if you have him like in different rotations or whatever, but like that's 2 games in a row now that he plays 4 minutes and then gets taken out, and then if this was a close game, he would not have gotten back in the game because he didn't go in at the same time in the third quarter. So like what did he do on the floor to warrant not just keeping him in past those minutes? Like, I don't understand why he gets taken out right there. Like, he did absolutely nothing to warrant that. If anything, he was like making a difference out there. We saw in garbage time that guy was laying out on the floor, almost hurt himself again because he dove for a ball. It's like we came out flat in this game. We needed that energy. He comes in, gives us that energy, and we're kind of catching back up. until the fourth quarter. I don't know what his plus minus was in the fourth quarter, but he was the only one up until that point where he was, I think it was 0 plus minus. Everyone else had a negative. And, I don't really bring up plus minus, but last game in those 4 minutes, he was plus 8 and everyone else was pretty much negative. So like
he basically just has a positive impact when he's on the floor.
Yes. And it's ridiculous. It's not like he's shooting bad. He's like almost 50, 40, 90 shooting splits this year. So like he's not shooting bad. And the only part of that that's not over is I think he's at like 87% free throw shooting or something like that. It's like, and he was 7 of 8 from the line tonight. I think he was like 3 for 6 from 3. And yeah, he had a couple mistakes in the fourth quarter, but you don't know how much of that was garbage time. But this is my thing. Let guys make mistakes if they're giving the effort in a game when it was very apparent early on in this game that we did not have it tonight and that we lacked some focus. We needed some energy. That's the perfect time to bring a guy like Little in, and then you bench him. Like, that makes no sense to me. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, man. I mean, you look at Gary Trent Jr. tonight, who was terrible in multiple aspects. I'm telling you that dude doesn't box out, doesn't rebound. 36 minutes, 2 rebounds tonight for Gary Trent Jr. He was
a play where Booker posted him up, took a shot, or no, he passed out for a 3, and Gary Trent just stood there, and Booker went right around him, got the offensive rebound, and it was just a pathetic effort. I mean, Gary had a terrible game, and he's been playing really well, but his lack of effort on the defensive end right now is really making me mad because he's shown that he can give effort on that end and prove that he is a capable defender, but he is absolutely not bringing it on that end right now.
Yeah, you say he's playing really well. I would say the only thing he's done well this season is make threes. What else has he done well? If you really think about it, in the bubble, he defended really well, right? And played with a ton of hustle. He's not doing that this year, okay? His rebounding is atrocious. He's not defending well. He's not playing with hustle. He's not making plays for anyone. In 36 minutes tonight, he had exactly 0 assists. He's not shooting well inside the arc. He's only shooting threes well.
He's bigger than CJ, so what's his excuse for the rebounding when CJ averages like 5 rebounds a game and we're a better rebounding team with CJ? And what's his excuse for not passing when CJ is averaging 5 assists per game this year? It's something we've been hard on CJ in the past, but yeah, you absolutely, I mean, people killed CJ for being, a bad defender, for not passing the ball, all this kind of stuff. But those same people now are like, oh, get rid of CJ. See, we don't need CJ. They think they're validated by CJ being out right now. And, I think Trent still has a lot of potential, and he could regain 100%. Focus on the defensive end. I'm not saying I'm down on him or anything like that. I love Gary Trent Jr. He's a great player. This is pretty much the first time I think I've ever been super negative on him since the middle of last season. But he's not doing the things that earned him a rotation spot last year.
It was like he did those things to earn that spot, and then it's like he made it and stopped doing the things that helped him earn that spot.
And it's the opposite of what's happening with Nas right now. I feel like Nas is doing those things to warrant getting more playing time, and he's being rewarded by getting taken out after 4 minutes and not playing again. So, and I don't get it. I just don't understand.
I brought up Gary Trent Jr. to bring it back to Nas. Gary Trent Jr. played 36 minutes tonight. 36 minutes. Bruh, he's not playing with effort. He's not playing no defense. He's not making shots. Why the hell is he playing 36 minutes? Play Nas over him. Move Rodney Hood to a little bit of the 2, because Rodney Hood was solid offensively. This game was 4 for 6, 1 for 2 from 3, had 9 points. Kind of kept us afloat there in the start of the first quarter. Had a 7-0 run on by himself, right? Play Rodney Hood a little bit too, and keep Nas in the game at the 3 or at the 4, whatever. You're getting killed on the boards, right? We gave up 13 offensive rebounds. We're getting killed on the boards for stretches. Play a bigger lineup. Take out the guy who doesn't rebound. Put Rodney Hood at the 2. Keep Nas in. Nas is helping you rebound. Like, and Rodney Hood's not a great rebounder or anything, but he's better than Trent. And go big. And then maybe, I don't know, you have a small ball lineup off the bench with Hood at the 2, Nasir Little at the 3, Carmelo Anthony at the 4, Rocco at the 5. Okay? That's a switchable lineup.
Mm-hmm.
2 through 5, that's pretty much switchable. Because they're back up big.
Cantor, though. Because Cantor's on the team, you can't trap even if he's not in the game, Tori.
It's so bad. It's so bad, man. Shout out Andrew Miller, $5 dono. We only changed things up defensively for playing James Harden. Why can't we be more creative against other squads? I don't know why we can't be more creative in general. Stas is just not a creative coach. Appreciate the dono. Shout out Ball Don't Lie podcast, $5 dono. He says, Stas interview is out, and once again, he says the absolute bare minimum in his answers to each question. Do you guys want to watch it? The Stotts interview, knowing that it's just going to be a bunch of BS that we normally hear? Type yes or no in the chat, and I'll make my decision based off that.
We know the answer.
Benedict Cumberbatch, $2 dono. He says, #free Nasir Little. Spelled it with only one S, but I'll give you a pass on that because I agree. Free Nasir Little, man. I will watch Nasir Little's interview. Shout out $2 donation from Kyle Wilson. Stotts is worse than Kevin Mather. Both suck, though. That's a pretty low bar, man. That's a pretty low bar. Shout out Mike B, $5 dono. He says, Stotts is arrogant and insecure. Cantor isn't even beneficial in drop scheme. He's too quick and too slow to contest shots and defend guards. Exactly. Why do people say he can't hedge or trap when we've barely seen it and he's looked solid when he's done it? As if he could play drop scheme? Like, he can't play drop scheme either. Right? Mm-hmm. Hypothetically, like, against certain teams, it's fine, I mean, against certain teams, it might be the best scheme. But, like, I don't know how people really think that him playing drop scheme is so much better that even when we're getting killed by playing drop scheme, we can't try and switch it up when we're down, like, 15. You know what I mean? It's just, that argument is maybe the worst argument to defend Stotts. I see a lot of yeses. You guys, we'll watch Stotts' interview first.
Oh, hey, Stotts maximizes gains from the players he has, puts his players in positions that emphasize their strengths and hide their weaknesses.
What? Who said that?
Peace and love.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's just that's literally, that comment has no substance to it. You have nothing backing up that statement at all. Anybody can say anything like that without any substance to it. What does he do to put his players in a position to succeed? Give me real examples. And then maybe I'll take that seriously. Because you're not giving me any real, that has no substance to it. Like, and we're gonna hold you to a higher standard than, other shows will. Because you can get away with saying that, and, Chad Doing, if you called and said that, would be like, yes, I agree. You look at this team on paper, and this team should not be 18-12, so Stotts is doing a great job.
Yeah.
No, we want substance here.
No, we got that too from Portlandia. If you told us we would be 18-12 without CJ or Nurk, all of us would sign up. Yeah, give me a break, dude.
I would say they should be at least 18-12 against the schedule they have, maybe even better. Because they've only have 4 wins against above 500 teams. Roster-wise, this roster, I think, is still a little bit above average. So if you're talking about through 30 games, we only have 4 wins against above 500 teams, and acting like that's some huge accomplishment is ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. I don't... God, that's why I hate those arguments. Because they have no substance. They have no context. It's ridiculous.
And this is why we told you, even during the winning streak, don't look at results. Look at what's happening on the court.
But nah, they just look at the paper,
people
man.
People bring up the record of, like, Eric Spoelstra this year or whatever. And, well,
just looking at paper.
They've been struggling. But look, they're healthy now, and they've been playing the right way, and look, they're all of a sudden playing better and winning games, and they'll be fine towards the end of the season and better equipped for the playoffs because they didn't just give up when they had injuries.
But Spoelstra doesn't get the injury excuse, even though he brought them to the finals last year, right? But Stotts gets a permanent excuse if there's ever an injury to anyone because he made the Western Conference Finals 2 years ago. Let's watch Stotts' interview.
Okay.
How excited are you, Eric, on a scale from 1 to 10?
I was thinking about this during the game. Like, I'm over it. Like, yeah.
I'll give the people what they want and take a little break.
For the record, while I say anyone can do a better job than Stotts, I do not want to be the coach. I would not.
I want you to be the coach. I would rather have you be the coach.
Could be the coach.
I would rather have you be the coach, Eric, than.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would try my best, but yeah.
I mean, you know basketball. I hate how people try and make it like, oh, well, since he's an NBA coach, you can't criticize him because you're not. It's like, okay, well, you criticize. I've seen you criticize the president, and you're not president. It doesn't, apply that same logic elsewhere. Nah, but it's just like a deflection tactic because they like him. But like, it's like if they say, well, you're not as qualified as him, so you can't criticize him. It's ridiculous because it's like, okay, well, you're not as qualified as me. Then, by your logic, you're not as qualified as me. So how are you criticizing what I say then? But it doesn't apply that way, right? And if I say that, I'm an a-hole. I'm a jerk if I say that. I'm cocky if I say that. I don't think like that. I think, you can criticize the coach and have very valid opinions and be right, even if you're not an NBA coach. I think you could have never played basketball before, but still know the game well enough to argue with me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think like that, right? But it's like these people make it all about qualifications. But it's like they've never played a lick of basketball in their life, so it's like, how are you qualified to say anything?
Yep. All right, let's hear it.
Coach, I know that was not how you wanted the game to go. Where do you feel like the game plan started getting off track?
From the opening tip. No, actually from before the opening tip, Eric. From the time he started writing on the whiteboard, the game plan was off track. Oh, man.
Plan started getting off track.
Well, the first half, I thought we were close. Defensively, there were a few things, here and there, but I didn't think we were that far off in the first half. But obviously, this third quarter, offensively, we didn't shoot the ball well, we didn't score, and they were very efficient. DeAndre Ayton had an impact on the game. In the paint, Devin Booker had an outstanding game anyway. But
we watched the game. You realize that, Terry?
Outstanding. So, went off track in the third quarter, which is an understatement.
AJ, go ahead.
So what's the message to the team after a loss like this, but no time really to look at a ton of film, I would assume, with Denver being tomorrow? What's your message to the team to try and put this one behind you?
We got a game tomorrow night. We got to fly to Denver, play a game, and that's one thing about the NBA is, we'll watch some clips from this game and see where we can be better, but we have to prepare for Denver and move on to the next one.
Next question's coming
I'm falling
from
asleep,
Jamie
Eric.
Hudson
You
with
good?
NBC
You
Sports
still awake,
Network.
bro?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
fine.
checking.
Coach, even with a poor shooting night for Gary, he still managed to set that record with the most consecutive games of at least 3 threes. And
Seriously,
so for him,
Jamie?
how would you categorize how consistent he's been from
cares?
3 these last few weeks?
Well, other than tonight, he's been very consistent. He's been a big part of our offense. He's been a big reason why we've been able to sustain a good offense when we lost CJ.
We've seen him shoot. Yes, we've seen
starters
that.
minutes.
We've seen that
playing
too.
35, 36 minutes. He knows where his shots are coming from. He's aggressive. And, like I said, other than tonight, he's been shooting the ball really well.
How do you explain what was it, just an off night for you guys from 3, or what do you think about the 3-point shooting?
I would say so. We were 1 for 9 in the third quarter. That was a tough quarter, and I thought we did have a lot of looks that we could make. And that's, again, you look at the threes that you take. Are they good threes? Are they contested? We can evaluate that after the game. But I wasn't unhappy with the threes that we got.
You'll look at it. Bruh, you've never said that you felt like we didn't get good looks. You've never said that. So quit acting like you're going to be objective and look at if we got quality shots or not. You have never once said we have not gotten good looks. So quit faking the objective, like being objective. Oh God. I don't. Why is chat? Why do you want to be tortured, chat? Why are we doing this? Go ahead, Eric.
Also, Tori, why can we, like, I mean, you charted it and know exactly what kind of shots they got.
Mm-hmm.
Why does our coaching staff not have that readily available for shots?
Or why can't they just tell? Yeah.
I mean, I could tell him most of the shots they got too. Like, why does he have to break down film to see that? And why even break down film? Why even watch it? Like, seriously, you don't change anything, so it's stupid. You're just going to be like, oh, yeah, look, see, we missed this 3, and we missed that 3, and we missed this 3. Let's just do the same thing next game, and it'll work next time.
Bro, it's like he's gotten so spoiled by having Dame and CJ who can just hit insanely tough threes that he thinks any 3-point look is a good shot.
Yep.
Next question's coming from Aaron Fentress with the Oregonian.
Oh, my favorite.
Last time you guys
reporter.
lost in similar fashion was at Milwaukee. Then you proceeded to win 8 out of 9. So I imagine you have pretty good confidence in your team's resiliency.
Well, regardless of the past, I have a lot of confidence in our team, and we always bounce back. I think that's been a trait of ours, and I think Dame kind of leads the way with that. But
well, guess what?
You know, in this league,
here's okay. I'm just gonna stop him here, bro. We've had such an easy schedule that, like, yeah, we play a team like Milwaukee, we get blown out. We play a good team like Phoenix, we get blown out. But the thing is, the past, like so far this season, our game after that is against like a beat up Orlando Magic team. You know what I mean? Of course we bounce back because it's like you go from playing the Bucks or the Suns to playing a freaking injured Orlando Magic team. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything in regards to, like, us, right? Thing is, we got Denver tomorrow night, so I'm not expecting a bounce back, right? Here's the thing. If we then, like, go and beat Denver hasn't even been playing that well. But if we go and beat Denver...
16 and 14. Like, Portlandia, quit acting like Denver's a good team or something. They have not played well this year.
Yeah, they're 16 and 14. But, like, if we go back
and they have a bunch of guys already ruled out for tomorrow night. There was, like, 4 or 5 guys that have already been ruled out.
So they're like they're like an average team. But at least it's a team over 500. That's not Philadelphia, right? Like, if we go and beat, Denver tomorrow, maybe you can make a low case for, like, yeah, we bounce back. But it's not a bounce back to me when you get blown out by Milwaukee and then go beat an injured Orlando Magic team. That's just you go from facing a good team, which honestly Milwaukee hasn't even been that good necessarily, but you go from facing a good team to a bad team. Right? Mm-hmm. It's a bounce back when you get crushed by a team like Phoenix, and then maybe you play another Phoenix caliber team, and you win. That's a bounce back to me. Right? So the whole, like, we got blown out by Milwaukee and then won 8 and 9, like, that wasn't really I don't know, that was a good stretch of basketball, but it wasn't like we're bouncing back against high caliber teams. The only games we beat teams above 500 were against Philadelphia, which is a really good matchup for us, in my opinion. So yeah, it's
and honestly, the first Philadelphia game we played the right way. We played more like we've been asking to play, and then we haven't really seen that since. So, like, why haven't we played like that? The following game, even we went right back to our old style and didn't do any of the things that led us to dominate Philly in that game. And the second Philly game, I mean, we had Carmelo Anthony hit 6 incredibly difficult shots in a row in the fourth quarter when we were losing that game, just to take the lead, and then Dame was good down the stretch. So like,
but it's props for Stotts for helping us beat Philly at home.
Yep.
Let's go on.
Before you continue, hold on just a second.
So if there's any donuts, let me know because I don't have chat up.
Yeah, Kyle Wilson says, quote, we will watch some clips later, and then sarcastic, quote, we don't do scouting, we just missed our shots, now give me another extension, suckers. And then Benedict Cumberbatch with the $2 donation says, if we make the postseason, we'll no doubt lay eggs. Mike B with the $5 donation says, quotes, we didn't have many moves we could make. He says he's confident in the team, but then never takes responsibility. How does that make sense?
Yeah. He's never made a coaching mistake in his life. It's very rough, man. He's just perfect apparently. Oh God. All right, let's trudge on. Let's just try and make it through this together.
We always bounce back. I think that's
Oh,
been.
wait. Hold up. We are not excited we lost this game. I don't know where that comes from. Peace and love. Don't.
That's
we are not
probably your
excited
worst comment
about-
ever,
yeah.
bro.
I mean, that's stupid. If I'm being honest, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
come on.
we are
man.
not excited we lost this game.
You're basically
We are mad.
attacking
We're
our
mad.
attacking our
Yeah.
fanhood with that one, bro. Come on now.
We are mad that the same things we've been talking about on this very show since the beginning of this show a year and a half ago, and from the time I've known Tori now for like 4 or 5 years, and we've been talking about similar stuff since then as well. This is stuff that has plagued us continually in this time, and I'm not okay with continuing to play this way and not having a coach that changes anything when it's not going well.
I mean, like, I'm laughing at some of this stuff because I think it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna get on here and like start punching my camera and kicking my monitor and flipping my desk. My desk weighs a lot. I couldn't do that anyway. But like, what? If I don't do that, I'm excited that we where does that even come from? That's crap. Let's finish this up.
Trade of ours, and I think Dame kind of leads the way with that. But in this league, you're going to have some bad losses, and it's how you respond to them that matters. And you're right, Milwaukee was a bad loss, and we came back, and you got to be able to put it behind you. You got to remember it, but you got to be able to put it behind you as well.
You got to improve from it, and that's my problem with you, Terry. You don't take losses like this and like consistently improve the team, right? You maybe for a game or two will like improve the team, and then you can say, oh well, we bounce back. But then once we have any stretch of success, the team then regresses. You have this win 8 out of 9 games, then you lose at home to a bad Washington team, and then you lose by 32 against Phoenix, right? So you're talking all this talk about bouncing back, like it's never as consistent as it should be, right? And the improvement is never as consistent as it should be. Yes, every team has a blowout loss here and there, but the best teams in the league, they consistently improve, and those losses become less and less, they occur less and less, and they don't occur as frequently, and if, good teams, normally they don't lose by 30.
And here's the deal, Tori. Did we not just lose Saturday night?
Yeah.
People are acting like this is just, they just won 6 games in a row, and now we we're due for a bad game, right? It just happened to be we were playing a good team and got smoked, right? But no, we played like crap on Saturday night too and lost a game we should not have lost.
Guess what? Yeah, I mean, this could easily turn into a 4-game losing streak, and we could be sitting at 18-14. Very easily.
Where was the bounce back from losing to the Wizards on Saturday? Why didn't we see a bounce back in this game? Why did we come out in this game completely flat after blowing a game on Saturday? That's the question. That's why Fentress sucks too, is because he just is like, oh yeah, we lost the game. That means we absolutely could win 8 out of the 9 because it happened before. Instead of saying, hey, look, you laid an egg on Saturday. And then why wasn't this your bounce back game? Why do you have to wait until another game to do it? Why aren't you mad? Why didn't you come out with some intensity and some focus and some killer attitude like you were mad about losing on Saturday and wanted to beat a team you're competing with for home court advantage in the playoffs? That should have been the reason we should have came out of this game. There is no excuse to not show up in the first quarter of this game, and we absolutely did not show up. And then we got blitzed in the second half. It's just ridiculous
There's always an excuse, man.
Yep, always.
There's always an excuse. And the excuse tomorrow, if we get blown out by Denver, will be, second night of a back-to-back, and we're playing in altitude, so, it's just really tough on the guys. Never mind the fact that Denver is going to be missing guys, and they're 16-14. There will be excuses tomorrow. And then if we lost the next game, it was a very tough 3-game road trip. We didn't play like how we wanted to, but you just got to move it past you. We got 3 games before the All-Star break at home that we would like to win. And we'll go and look at our shots and just see, if they're quality shots. But overall, I think we got quality shots. That'll be how it is. And yeah, I mean, I've never been wrong with this stuff. I've never been like, bro, if we lose, I'm not saying we'll lose the next 2 games, but if we do, that'll be the narrative. That'll be the narrative, 100%.
Yep.
I'll be shocked if it's something different.
Next question's coming from Dwight James at NBC Sports.
Terry, so unlike you guys to turn the ball over, but they really had you going a little bit in the first quarter. Is that just merely an adjustment to their level of defense, or what do you think causes something like that?
They're one of the worst teams in the league at forcing turnovers, right? That's what the broadcast even said at some point. Maybe it was steals or something.
Look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said steals, but
Let me pull up the stream on my phone so I can see chat. Because I miss chat. Jeopardy theme music plays.
They are 27th in opponents' forced turnovers.
Yeah, so one of the worst teams in the league at forcing turnovers. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was like their defense. You know what I mean? They don't force turnovers, so I don't think it was like, oh, well, we just had to come into this game and adjust to their defense. It forces too many turnovers. Nah.
But you got to be able to put it behind you.
If Dwight James was a good reporter, and if I was a reporter, I would have these stats like locked up. I'd say, so Phoenix is the 27th ranked team in the league at forcing opponent turnovers, yet you guys turned over the ball, 7 times in the first quarter. Why were you guys struggling to hang on to the ball against a team that struggles to force turnovers? That would have been how I would have worded the question.
Yep.
So
actually, I would ask it just like Dwight, and then when he says what he says, I would be
like,
"Oh,
true, yeah, you could."
So
do that
why do you answer that they're really good at forcing turnovers when they're actually third to last? And yeah, I think that'd be better.
Yeah.
But then I would probably never get to ask a question again.
I know. Shout out Blazer Takes 2K with the $2 donation. He says this game caps off a really bad day for me. That sucks, man. I hope your day gets better after this. But yeah. No, you just need to say, respectfully, they're 27th in the league in terms of forcing turnovers. So you said they're a good team at forcing turnovers, but the stats don't really back that up. What do you think about that, Terry? Just have to be as respectful as possible. Putting the word respectfully in there. Don't hurt his feelings.
You got to be able to put it behind you. You got to remember it, but you got to be able to put it behind you as well.
Thanks. Next question's coming from Dwight James.
Rewinded it a little too much, but we'll just...
Terry, so unlike you guys to turn the ball over, but they really had you going a little bit in the first quarter. Is that just merely an adjustment to their level of defense, or what do you think causes something like that?
Well, we had 4 turnovers probably in the first 3 minutes, and you're right, it's very uncharacteristic of us, and I know that our low turnovers have been a big part of our offensive efficiency. So some of it was carelessness, honestly.
Sorry, this is the best. One of the best dono messages ever. Kyle Wilson, $5 dono. Appreciate it, bro. He says, Jordan Kent, after making love to his girl, whispers, remember, the Blazers are missing 3 of their starters. Shout out, Kyle.
I like how you whispered it.
I didn't want to whisper it like too softly and make it weird, so, yeah. But yeah.
Oh, come on, weird it up.
Yeah, I know you're down with the weird. But yeah, no, I would feel uncomfortable whispering into the mic. This would turn into like an ASMR stream. Would rather yell into it after a performance like this. But that was funny, Dona. Appreciate it, Kyle. Good one, man. Yeah, I don't even know what Stotts is talking about. I kind of blinked out and then I read that.
So some of it was carelessness, honestly, that were self-inflicted. I don't want to take anything away from their defense, but I thought there were some that we were a little careless with some passes or some of the possessions that we had.
And Terry, what makes them better? Top 10 defense. What is it about what they do?
Well, I think you saw tonight. I thought DeAndre Ayton had an impact on the game. I think Chris Paul has always been an excellent defensive guard. I think he's smart. He's got good hands. He demands that of his teammates. So I think he certainly is an impetus for that. And Jay Crowder is an excellent defender as well. So I think they bringing in Crowder and bringing in Chris Paul and Ayton gaining the experience, I think that all has really helped them.
I mean, I agree with it.
Our final questions coming
I think
from
Dwight was trying to bait him into saying they forced a lot of turnovers or something like that. Stotts didn't fall for it. Good job, Stotts. You didn't fall for it.
Del Comercio.
Coach, it's Leonardo Torres from Peru. Coach, what are your expectations for tomorrow's game against Jamal? And in the same way, he will also face Facundo Campazzo. What is your opinion about him?
Well, I think it'll be a good matchup. We played Denver.
He's like, who?
Some good games in the past. Obviously, we didn't play them well in the preseason, but
I know who he's talking
Murray
about.
is an
It's just
outstanding player.
weird to ask about their backup point guard.
I know. What do you think about Denver's backup point guard after Phoenix Suns Blazers game? As an international guy, I guess I get it.
He had 50 the other night, and he's always a tough cover, especially with Jokic on the floor. As far as Campazzo, I think he's a good guard. He kind of knows his role on the team. He plays hard. He competes. He's a good teammate. Does all the little things for him.
New Gillette antiperspirant.
Was that the end? Okay, well, get your Gillette anti-deodorant. This is not in my stream is not sponsored, but just gotta shout out Gillette there. Let's watch Nas.
Benedict Cumberbatch of the $2 dono says, "Who's ready for year 10 of Terrence the Terrible?" And our boy Westbrook has a good point. All of the reasons Stotts named were personnel-based, and not one scheme-related reason why Phoenix's defense is good. Interesting. Yep. He can't just admit he got out-schemed. It's, look at all these good players they brought in. They brought in Chris Paul to fix their defense. And, no mention on what Chris Paul actually does that is effective on defense or anything like that.
Yeah. God. I hated that interview. Let's watch Nas. I'm excited to hear Nas.
Hello, Nas. I would like to ask you, how could you explain and how could you describe the third quarter of the game, how crucial for the whole game was? And what would you like to change about the next game against the Nuggets?
Good question, international guy. That was actually good.
Except for Nas didn't play in the third quarter.
Yeah. But he can get his thoughts on the team, Nas is like, well, I didn't play the third quarter. They maybe should have subbed me in. Shut up.
That'd be awesome. Nas would be goated right now.
Oh, I know, bro. I that would make my night. Shout out Mike B, $5 dono. He says, at peace and love, guys, stop hating. We are injured. We will be fine. At Portlandia, listen to this guy. He has all the facts and he thinks critically. Yeah, man. It's that's. At least they have somebody in chat to that agrees with them, so they don't feel so alone on the island, man. It's not a good feeling being alone on the island. I knew that when I started. I felt that way when I started critiquing the coaching. I'm sure a lot of people did too. With the way media is. So actually, I don't feel bad for any of them. You got so many platforms. I was willing to just say Stotts is the best coach in the league. So I actually don't feel too bad. Appreciate the dono from Mike B.
That's funny, Austin.
What Austin say?
I'm not gonna say it.
Oh yeah, let's just play this.
Defensively, we didn't do what we had to do. It was a close game going into halftime, but third quarter, we made a lot of mistakes on our part that led to them getting open three-pointers, and it started to rack up on our end, and we got down. So was hard to bounce back from.
Hello?
Any other questions for Nas? Casey Holdall, Trailblazers.com. Go ahead.
Just here, obviously, this one did go the way you guys playing. How do you feel like you've been playing since you've come back? And it seems like you're kind of making progress in every single game at this point. How have you felt about it?
I felt like I played well. Just taking advantage of the opportunity that I'm given. And, in situations like that, all you can do is just be aggressive, continue to play hard, and, live with the results.
Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest. Go ahead.
Nas, does it frustrate you to see your team having trouble shooting the ball and you not get in until basically extended time till the fourth quarter?
I wouldn't, it's beyond my control. Like I said, all I can do is my part. And
Yep, it is beyond your control. You could ball out and have 50 points in 4 minutes in the first half, and you still won't get burned in the second if it's close. You're right, Nas. It is not in your control at all, no matter how well you play, bro. The ball's not in your court, man. No matter what you do with the actual basketball, the ball's not in your court. It's all stats, man. You're right.
Time till the fourth quarter.
I wouldn't, it's beyond my control. Like I said, all I can do is my part. And when coach calls my number, I just got to be ready for whenever that opportunity comes.
Next question's from with Fox.
Hey, Nas, appreciate the time. My question's more in light of Black History Month. I know the NBA has done a great job of honoring Black History Month. The Blazers have their racial justice initiative. Just wondering, I know it's given us over a month to reflect on what was a crazy 2020 with social injustice, and wondering what some of the lessons you might have learned from 2020 to carry on, keep the conversation moving forward even beyond 2020 and Black History Month.
Yeah, for me, every month is Black History Month. And, that's just how I've always, viewed it. I don't think, it's right to give, the shortest month of the year, to, honor Black history. But, yeah, man, I think it's amazing how, I've seen the progress, and now organizations like the NBA.
That's actually a good point. Why is it the shortest month of the year is Black History Month? What's the reason for that? Is there an actual reason for that? Like, why did they pick February?
Probably some sort of racial undertone to that as well, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
We can all come together and all, get stories out there and, be able to honor, the people that have paved the way for Black people, on a huge platform. And for that to be acceptable and accepted by a lot of different people is very special. So hopefully over time, that, that kind of process can keep growing, and we can keep, making a change in this world.
For sure, appreciate it.
Thanks, Nas. We'll wrap there.
All right, there's Mr. Little's post-game news conference. Yeah, good question on Black History Month. I wish they would have made that interview go longer and asked him some legitimate, basketball questions, because I don't know. I would have liked to know. Do you feel like you should have maybe trapped more? It seemed like dropping the big wasn't working for you guys. What do you think about that? He probably, and I wouldn't blame him for this. He probably just said, I just leave those sorts of things up to the coaching staff, because if he says otherwise, it's kind of throwing the coaching staff under the bus, and that's not going to do him any favors. He needs all the help he can get to actually get, 5 minutes of meaningful playing time a half. But yeah, it's I don't know. Rough game, Eric. I don't know.
Very rough.
This stream. Oh, it said it was only an hour and 1 minute. I was like, it feels like it's at least been an hour and a half. Let me thank the donos from. I already thanked the donos. Never mind.
Nas post-game minute short. That's funny. Oh, that's hilarious. Yep, they're jipping him time on the.
Yep, man. I don't know, man. What else do you want to touch on? I feel like I'm about ready to just wrap this up for the most part.
Yeah, I just don't know how to fix this. if it's going to be a problem where we're not doing things to get better, if that makes sense. And it's just frustrating because we can sit here and say all the things they need to improve on, but the coach doesn't seem to think any of those things matter as much as if they just made their shots tonight, they would have been fine or whatever. And that's the frustrating part to me with the coaching the way it is that it doesn't seem like they're trying to figure out why, other than, oh, like we can just keep shooting threes. Let's shoot the most threes out of any team this year. Let's just keep shooting threes, and like that's their strategy. It's not like anything to, oh, let's work at an offense to get good threes or better shots. It's just shoot as many threes as possible, and if we don't make them, we can just say, oh, they weren't falling tonight, and that's what frustrates me personally, is that I don't feel like any of these issues that are glaringly obvious are being addressed properly.
Yep, I agree. I don't know. I mean, we'll see what they do tomorrow. Got a quick turnaround, but I don't know. Who do they have out tomorrow? The Nuggets.
Let me take a look. The other thing that makes me mad about the whole bounce back thing is we've seen, like last year, they would put together a good game, and then they come out and lay an egg against a bad team the next game, and it's just frustrating because there's just no consistency, and it's driving me crazy. So it looks like they have Gary Harris, Dozier, Millsap, JaMychal Green all out tomorrow.
That's a lot of players they're missing. Yeah.
I'm just going to confirm on all four of those, but there was at least 4 players listed, and I think
I have no idea what's going on in chat right now, but I'm not going to say anything about it. I don't even know what the chat's just falling apart.
Yeah, so Millsap and Green are out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Dozier, it says he's rolled out for Tuesday's game against the Celtics, but I don't know if that's a typo or if it's just from last week, maybe. And then, but yeah, Harris, Millsap, and JaMychal Green are all out for sure, which definitely helps us.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Defending Jokic is going to be a nightmare. But Kanter has done it in the playoffs before, but Jokic is better now than he used to be, obviously.
And then, yeah, here's another frustrating thing is Washington goes in and beats the Lakers tonight. So we could have gained a game on Lakers with a game coming up on Thursday, I believe, against them. It's certainly possible if we don't flounder this opportunity to have possibly passed Lakers in the standings and been in a prime position for the playoffs.
We're only 3 games back of the Clippers and the Lakers. You know, we beat Washington and beat Phoenix. We're literally 1 game back, you know? Like, we have a chance here. In Utah, I wouldn't be shocked if they start regressing at some point. I mean, they blew out the Hornets today. I knew I should have picked them, but I don't know. I did pretty well in picks against the spread. So, but yeah, it's frustrating. It's obvious what works for this team. It's obvious what doesn't, and it's obvious it's not really changing. So, I don't know. There's really nothing else to even say. I don't know. I mean, chat, am I missing something? Like, what else can I even say? I think we've covered this pretty well tonight.
You were 4-3 today, by the way.
Was I 4-3? I thought it was better than that. That's still above
No, because you lost the Grizzlies. You're in your double down.
Yeah, I should have doubled down on the Blazers, man. Or on the Suns.
Chat was...
As long as I did better than chat.
Nope, chat was 5-2.
Annoying.
You did
Oh, yeah,
better
so-
than me, though.
Okay, cool. So I at least tied you. Anyway, I don't know what's going on with chat. I think it's about time we just kind of sign off here. We'll be back tomorrow night, hopefully talking about a win. Hopefully we're talking about improvement. Yeah. I don't know. Blowout losses always suck. I feel like we continuously point out all the problems as well as we possibly can. There's some people who would never agree with anything, and Stotts could literally try and coach poorly, and there's people out there who would still say he's doing a good job coaching. That's just the way it is. We will continue to try and be as objective as possible and point out what is happening out there on the basketball court, and back up all of our opinions. So,
CJ the GOAT, I already told you I was wrong. What more do you want? I said I apologized at the beginning of the stream for picking the Blazers and jinxing them. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I didn't guarantee
I told
a
Eric
win.
to
I
never
just said
double
at
down
halftime
at least.
that I felt confident that they would win. And yeah,
because there's going to be a 10-point loss, and then you doubled down on them, turned it into a 30-point loss. Eric, I blame you. It's not Stotts' fault.
It's all my
Stotts'
fault.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro.
Stotts watched the stream and was like, I'm going to show this guy.
Honestly, he kind of coached
this,
like it.
Watch this no game plan and he's going to lose. And then everyone will blame him instead of me. That's brilliant, Stotts. Good job.
Honestly, watching the game, like I could believe it. Sadly. Shout out Near 012. What's up, Near Zero? Glad to catch you. He says, I need to work in the AM, but I just wanted to show some love. Hey, good news is CJ's coming back soon. Yeah, hopefully I think he's going to be back after the All-Star break. We only got 5 games till then. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to get CJ back, but still some problems on this team that still will rear their heads all season long, it seems like. But I appreciate the dono, Near Zero, and I appreciate the support you show and the love you show, man. Hope you have a good rest of your night.
All the people who donated and watched tonight have been...
Yep. Shout out to all the people who donated and all of you for just tuning in and chilling with us and venting with us and recapping what was an awful game for the Portland Trail Blazers. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Tori Jones for me, at Hoopshock for Eric, at Blazers Uprise YT for the channel. I will post a full highlights reaction to this game and like kind of showcase some of our defensive issues and how Phoenix exploited drop scheme. That'll be for members only. If you want to become a channel member, any level of membership will get you access to that. Hit the join button below this video to become a channel member. I will post in the community tab for channel members only the link to that video probably tomorrow morning. So if you want to watch that and see how we got exposed and have me break it down, then stay tuned for that. I'll also tweet out on Twitter when I drop that full highlights reaction to this game. So yeah, definitely make sure you follow the channel Twitter page at Blazers Uprise YT. Other than that, subscribe to Blazers Uprise Live if you haven't already. We stream Mondays and Thursdays starting around 3:30 or 4 p.m. Pacific time. We previewed this game today on Blazers Uprise Live. So when we have a game later that day, we preview it and kind of talk about it going in. So that's what I was referencing at the start of this stream. I don't know. A lot of you guys are probably aware of it. I just want to drop it. Anything else, Eric?
No, just I hope if we come out tomorrow night flat, that we see guys like Nas come in and actually get a legit chance to turn the game around. And there's, I don't know. I mean, it's frustrating too because, I mean, Dame stays in when we're down 20 with like a few minutes left. And then by the end of the third quarter, we're down 29. You know, it's like, what's the point of Dame even being out there if we're just going to like get our butts kicked, you know? It's like just rest him for tomorrow night, but it's just frustrating. Just real frustrating game.
Yep, very, very frustrating. We will have the post-game show on the 23rd on Tuesday. Then we won't have another post-game stream until Friday. So get a couple days off. We'll, of course, have Blazers Uprise Live the day before on Thursday, and we'll preview that game on the 26th, which will be against the Lakers. You got the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. Hopefully the Blazers can get it done. We will see. A performance like this definitely is not going to work against the Nuggets. You know, it's not going to work against many teams in the NBA. So we'll see if they can bounce back against a decent team and beat a team over 500, not named the Philadelphia 76ers. So that's a wrap for this post-game show. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a good rest of your Monday night, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Until then, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.